you incline more to do the melody at places, which is interesting as well.
Yeah, sometimes it just seems like you got the best notes in the first place, you know.
Yeah. This is something that I never understand about jazz, you know. It is like outrageous. Try to think that somebody write a book and then there are artists that are specializing in mixing all the words.
Yeah, that's right.
You know, it's like, I'd freak out.
Yeah. Well, Monk used to say, when soloists asked him what to play on his tune, he said, just play the tune, man, you know. and there are people who do that, but it's just too many things that you could do on these.
When I'm working on something, it takes me quite a long time to get into it. But once I get stuck in and it starts to grow, and there's a critical point at which it becomes an organic, living, breathing thing, which in this record already happened before I opened my mouth because of the idea of Ross Stevens' arrangements and the quartet. I've never done this before. People ask me about collaboration, and I don't really collaborate. It's misleading. People see names of people that I work with.
Yeah.
But normally I work for them or they work for me, and recording is a series of alternating, I would say, dictatorships. In this, we are actually working together. The only person I normally work together with is Alfie, but even then, she does her bit and I do mine.
Yeah.
And we trust that we know enough about what the other one would wanted. I sort of felt vertigo when I thought I'm probably going to be out of my depth here because they're both very quick, you know. And I'm not quick, so I thought, how is that going to, you know, it works more easily the other way around. If I invite someone like Gilad into the studio, I can think at my own pace.
Yes.
And he can come in like at another kind of speed dimension. And
yeah.
You can say, can you go blah blah blah, and he can go blah blah blah, like that. So yeah, like that. It's lovely for me because it's a good combination of being right in there, singing and being part of it, and it's sort of the selection of material which is mine and Gilad's and Ross's. Sometimes you get a piece of beautiful music, and I have to do the words bit, and it's like getting the short straw sometimes because they're not the bit that's beautiful about them. And certainly, I mean, if you're talking about George and Ira Gershwin or Cole Porter or you know, words by people like Ogden Nash, then they sing those. And a lot of songs are very good lyrics, but sometimes they're just tacked on so that a singer has something to sing.
Yeah.
And they're kind of inadequate. They're like spraying a bit of plastic on a good bit of oak or something. Right? In this case, the words just kind of banalise the music.
Yeah.
You know, which is why so often, as a jazz fan, I've listened to. I know so many tunes only because John Coltrane plays them, and I never heard the originals. It's quite funny to hear the originals after that. And I'm not very keen on the musical tradition, or the musical tradition particularly. But funnily enough, once I hear Coltrane playing, I hear what's beautiful about a tune, I could then listen to, you know,
To the
the
original.
showbiz versions
Yeah.
and enjoy them because I see the point. And Max Roach once said one of the things jazz musicians did was we rescued good tunes from a banal context.
Robert,
Yeah?
the vibe in the beginning is amazing, and if you can maintain it, but it's beautiful. You do some amazing stuff. It's something I'll never forget. The moment he just started to, when we came to film Manzanera, and
We just started.
you know, just started singing on it, and it was natural. It's as if he was in the room, and
It was just as soon as he started, I thought this is really going to work. This is going to be fantastic. I was quite anxious.
it was very worrying for us.
because we'd just recorded all of our bits without any vocals at all, and just the moment he started singing Laura at the beginning of it, we thought, yeah, this is really great.
It was really smooth, really easy,
It was, yeah.
really natural.
Yeah. And Alfie said, would it be okay to write lyrics? And I was like, yeah, you know, it could be fantastic.
Yeah.
And they're very beautiful. The lyrics
Indeed,
she
it's
wrote.
very moving.
Very, very moving, yeah. I felt very...
You were there for me all along, there for me when I had nobody there to care for me, long before the day that I was born. In the air, long before the day that I was born.
If I could just play the tune here on this thing, as it goes, I'll just say.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I know you're tired. This is the last chance.
No.
This is the last chance. And
Yeah. But in general, you happy with the album?
I'm more than happy. I think it's absolutely wonderful.
What do you think, Alfie?
No idea.
Good.
I've only heard one song.
No.
No, I've got a neurosis.
Also, I've got a feeling, I'd like to think, Alfie kind of trusts me now if I think something's okay. In a way that she didn't before. She used to think if I said it was okay was because maybe I was drunk, and you know, when you're drunk everything sounds okay.
No, but Gilad thinks I ought to be interested enough to listen. I'm only interested in the contracts.
That's great.
Like,
I just try to see where there is a...
I stuck it. Here.
I see one. I can use this, yeah.
I have to go to when people go to learn to love spiders with psychologists. I have to go to a man who allows me to listen to Robert singing.
Do you mind if I put it on the table?
No.
I was there for you all along, there with you, flying high and dancing with the birds, for you, to the music of your lullaby. In the air, long before the day that I was born.
I played once in Hartlepool in a festival, and a very kind woman came to me and she said that her husband is very shy and he would like to come to talk to me, and she asked if it's okay. And I said of course, and then that man approached me with a big beard, and I think that he told me that he was an amateur musician. He's very shy and modest, obviously, and he asked if I wouldn't mind to play clarinet with him. Oh yeah, for sure, man. That's what I'm doing. I'm playing with other people, and he gave me a card which I just put it in my pocket. And then in the festival, in the breakfast, Annie Whitehead, the adorable trombonist, asked me, "Oh, Gilad, I wanted to talk to Robert Wyatt." What?
You know that thing, Coltrane playing his long solo and him saying, you know, the famous story.
Yeah.
Take the thing out of your mouth.
Why didn't you
Well,
stop
maybe, and just take the thing out of your mouth. So maybe people say to you, look, Gilad, just put the saxophone back in your mouth.
Yeah, exactly.
Just, how can I stop saying this stuff? Just put the saxophone back in your mouth.
Yeah. It is very interesting.
I have to go back in now to see what the ladies want. What, 2/3 of the ladies?
As a producer, I was really anticipating a lot of work, because I know that Robert takes his time in the studio, and I thought I would have to create a lot of space. I know that he's very pedantic on his singing, and it was shocking. We did all the vocals kind of one after the other. You were there. It was easy, as easy as it could be. The man is obviously a genius, one of the most authentic musicians I've ever come across.
12 o'clock down, and you came along with your siren song to tempt me to madness. I thought for a while your poignant smile was tinged with the sadness of a great love for...
What made me interested in art, as being one, before was a painter. And to me, the ideal of art was, you know, the solitude of one person pushing that as far as it could go. Poetry and painting come to mind, or poetry particularly, but then painting, as absolutely the whole point being to follow one person on a journey through things. But I mean, particularly what I liked about jazz, for example, was that once it gets to the solo, the composer and the performer are the same person. And that was the difficulty I had with classical music, is, as with theatre, sometimes it's the playwright is one person, the director is another, and the actor is a third. So it's quite difficult for an actor to say, I want to express myself in this, when it's not their words. It's a challenge that all the good ones get over, but that's the challenge there, and I'm not used to it.
All I care is to smile.
But I really like this, where I can sort of just, when I'm singing, I'm at the wheel, and when I stop singing, I get out the car and sit in the back, and they drive. That's really, it's lovely, you know. It's a great feeling, because the car keeps moving, you know.
Romance is mush, stifling those
And on my own projects, the momentum entirely depends on me and my momentum. If I grind to a halt, everything grinds to a halt.
Yeah.
But working with the other two, one of us is always on it.
Robert,
Yes.
in the previous take, you were in such a great position with the microphone. It's like the sound is enormous.
What are you talking about?
Not the last one, the one before. Seven.
I've got to try and nail those notes again, damn it. Not to have a responsibility for the whole thing, what everybody else is doing, is wonderful for me. It's like a sort of holiday, especially since it is very, very geared to my singing. They seem to do arrangements and play in such a way as I can sort of, it's just as easy as getting into a jacuzzi, you know. And so this is, I really feel, it's a dangerous word, but I feel really happy doing this project. Also, I didn't initiate it, so I don't, it came as a surprise. I hadn't made a record myself for a couple of years, and I haven't really got into gear for a new project, so the timing's very good. And I've just been doing a few wheel-on parts for other people, but not on this scale, not in the sense of being part of an entire recording.
I'll live a lush life in some small dive, and there I'll be while I rock with the rest of those whose lives are lonely too.
Yeah, I mean, to me it's still interesting and valuable and interesting that so much of the non-black musicians that I like, that have helped, are Jews, including the people who wrote the good tunes like Irving Berlin and Gershwin. So to me that's interesting. And
I come with two answers. A, New York,
right,
the biggest ethnic minority at the time, definitely. B, this, if we're talking about assimilation, this is the best way to assimilate.
Yeah.
And I was 17 years old, about to go to the army to fight a stupid war. Just in one day, I discovered jazz, and I wanted to be in Blue Note, and I didn't care about it anymore. You know, I moved from David Ben Gurion to John Coltrane.
I was asked in some interview about what I think about America, because I'm always critical up to still of American foreign policy, and I said, well, it is actually as great as it says it is, but not for the reasons it says it is. I said if it ever sort of stopped trying to run the world, it would be the greatest country, because it's the only country with a nationality but no defined ethnicity. It's got an English language, but that's everybody's now. And I said if just going to my own cultural background, is that what America gave us was Lester Young, from his mostly black background, playing Irving Berlin tunes, Irving Berlin, a Russian Jew, and Miles Davis playing Porgy and Bess, written by two, the Gershwin and Gershwin brother, and Miles Davis from African ancestry. I said, if it hadn't been for America, they would never have met, and you wouldn't have one of them playing the other one's tunes. And that,
beautiful
to me,
way to look at it.
And that was to me a glorious thing, you know, to rescue from the whole history. Of course, a lot of people don't have to like jazz. I don't mean that, but to me, that kind of symbolises in my culture what that they are quite distinct. You know, Gershwin wasn't black at all, and Irving Berlin absolutely not, and Miles Davis isn't Jewish, but they made something which no African would have made, no Russian Jew would have made anywhere else.
I agree.
They made it together, and it's a wonderful.
But I tell you
thing,
something.
You know?
I tell you something that is almost silly to say, but it is true. You know my music, and it has kind of. I brought up a lot of influence from the place I was born in, and I would never do it in my homeland. I would never do it in Palestine. It made a lot of sense to me to make it here. And I remember that Asaf said when we recorded the first album, he said, Gilad, you realize that if we would do it at home, we would turn into kind of the biggest joke, you know? And so it makes a lot of sense for people, for migrant communities, to start, to celebrate their symptoms, and to join forces or merge culturally with others. And America was definitely was definitely a place where it happened. However, there is one thing about America that we have to remember: when it happened, this music, this culture was dissident culture.
Absolutely.
And this is the most powerful thing about America. Once they made America jazz into the classical music of America, this music kind of melted down.
Ever now, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world.
With Gilad, I mean, the reason I was listening to Gilad before I'd met, or before I ever thought I would meet him. I was actually told about him by a man called Chris Searle, who's the jazz writer on a small English newspaper called the Morning Star. Of course, it's also the daily paper of the left, whatever that means. But anyway, Chris Searle writes on jazz pieces very knowledgeably, very passionately. And he said, you've got to hear this Gilad Atzmon. And that's enough for me. I started listening and I saw a few gigs. And he made me laugh and everything. But and what I loved was that he had this, that he was making it new all the time, but he had this deep affection for the history of jazz, almost like in a way that funnily enough, you don't always find with jazz musicians, because he was almost like somebody who was a convert from somewhere else and saw the beauty of it, having come from somewhere else. In a way, I mean, like if you visit Paris, sometimes you see the unique beauty of it in a way that a Parisian may not see because they're in it all the time. It's just their town. And I think, to me, Gilad had that, which I have, being a jazz fan all my life, but not really being a jazz musician. I'm still awestruck by this, one of the great saving graces of the 20th century. So I would love to have been one of the wonderful people who exploded in their late 20s and then died, like Hendrix or something like that. But I just didn't know enough to die. I hadn't. You know what I mean? With Hendrix, you sort of feel, well, he'd really got somewhere in that time, you know.